Hi everyone,
Hello.
we are once again in the historic center of São Luís, but a bit further down from the other areas that we visited in the past two videos. Today we will also try to go to some other parts of São Luís to show you the rest of the city as well. Our first stop is this beautiful, gorgeous looking building that is the public library. Also in this square right in front of the library you will see the statues of a lot of writers and poets, famous Brazilian writers and poets being displayed, and that makes this city be called
The Athens of Brazil, or the Brazilian Athens, to refer to the city in Greece because of all the philosophers. Here also Maranhão, the state of Maranhão and the city of São Luís is also well known for all the writers and poets and philosophers, and they built all of this square here in honor of all of them. And again, the library behind me. The National Library was built in 1831 and has around 120,000 titles, like between books, movies, magazines, and many other documents also that refer to the history of the city and the state of Maranhão. The city of São Luís is well known for the writers and poets, and this is because back in from 1600 until 1800 there was a lot of very strong influence from Europe. So they would receive in the city a lot of merchandise and a lot of goods coming from Europe, and among all of this merchandise there was a lot of books, magazines that would come here, and that actually helped to influence the people in the city and all the writers and all the stories that they wrote. So that's why the literature in the city is extremely strong.
And now, driving around the historic center, we came across this square and this beautiful church. Of course, being in Brazil, you're never short of churches, but each one looks different and has its own architectural characteristics. So we wanted to definitely show it to you guys. Another positive thing about this location is the view, because you are kind of on a higher level. From here you can see the water, you can see the bridge in the distance that connects the historic part to the other part of São Luís. A lot of those apartment buildings that are on the other side that are in another neighborhood, which we will go and see next, they didn't even exist apparently 10 years ago. So they have been building those apartment buildings just in the past 10-15 years. I'm gonna go down because down here also there is a space that I believe maybe for ceremonies, for celebrations, or official events that happen with the government, either state government or the federal government. I believe this is the place that it takes place. Also, there is this building in the middle down there. This is an old train station that they have kept it, and it's really, really beautiful because at some point São Luís was very, very important in terms of export and in terms of economy and commerce. So railroad system was one of the ways that was used for export of everything that was manufactured in Maranhão. So let's see if we can go inside the church and show it to you guys. Wow, as soon as you enter there is the date 1929, so I believe this is when it was built. And again, another nicely done church, and the tiles are very cute too. We are now in another part of São Luís, which is actually a beachfront. There are a lot of restaurants down the road, as you can see. The tide also today is not low, it's very good. There is enough space for beach and the waves are not that strong. But we wanted to also show you this monument. This is like a landmark for São Luís, that everybody that comes here, they visit this place, and it is called the Three Fishermen, or Tres Pescadores. This is dedicated in the honor of fishermen, that every day they go to the sea and they fish, and then after that for you and me to enjoy that fresh seafood. Also, behind me, these are all the buildings that I mentioned earlier in the video, that almost like 10-15 years ago, none of these buildings existed. So they are all mostly new construction. And in the distance, you can see many cargo ships that are waiting to get to the port and either offload or load their cargo and head to other places, which is something very interesting to talk about.
The economy of the city of São Luís, and actually the state, is based on export. The port here is used also from both states that are neighbors here, so from Pará and Piauí. And one of the main products that is exported to Europe, United States, China, is iron ore, which is like mined by like huge companies, mining companies here in Brazil, and they export the material, they export the iron from the port of São Luís, so this port that we just see here in front of us. And this is a huge economic activity for the city. It is interesting to know too that the port is the second deepest port in the world. It is 23 meters deep.
And speaking of the tide, here you can see that it's not that low. Yesterday we drove by the sea and it was very, very low. Even on the bridges that you take to leave the historic center and get to the other side of the island, you could see that the water was very low. Today it's not that high, the tide, and it's not that low either, which gives you a very, very decent size of beach. However, it's very, very interesting that here in São Luís, apparently the fluctuation of the tide is a lot. Sometimes the fluctuation can go up to 8 meters. So from one day to another, this beach that looks like this can look completely different. As you can see, they have put these barriers here on the side. So I assume that at some point the water comes the whole way up to here, and even the restaurant, if you can see the corner, it has some columns underneath to support it, but I think most of the time the water comes up and hits there. That's why it's just the support that you see today, but on another day that the tide is high, I assume it's gonna come the whole way up to the terrace that they have. There is another beach down there that is very famous in São Luís, which is called Praia do Calhau. All right, we are at the next spot that we wanted to come and see it. Basically, there is this sign here for those that love Instagram, Ilha do Amor, which I mentioned in the other video. That is the nickname of São Luís, or the Island of Love. Another famous spot here in São Luís is this walk path that goes way to the end for around 500 meters into the water. And at night or in the weekends, this place is full of people and families and kids doing a lot of activities. We are now in another neighborhood called Ponta da Areia, which means like the tip of the sand, which also looks like a nice and trendy neighborhood.
This deck was built here, so people actually can enjoy, be closer to the water, but also because the tide here in São Luís varies so much during the day, and then the sea can come very high, close to the city, so they built this part. So then all these buildings that are here, you see, they are protected actually now from the water coming from the sea. So now we have a lot of sand in this side where the buildings are, and then on the other side is the sea that actually now doesn't get close to the buildings.
And right by the deck that we just visited over there, you also have a fortress. This used to be a fortress, and Mariana did some research as usual.
Part of the fortress.
Part of a fortress.
Part of the fortress. So this place was used for a quarantine place from the boats that were coming from Europe. So during the trip, if you're not feeling well, they would stay here like as a quarantine. They didn't know what they had yet, so they were not feeling well. So they would put the people here that were feeling a little bit sick until like they knew what they had, or if they were feeling better, then they could leave the place. But it was actually a quarantine place initially as a part of a bigger fortress that was here. We're gonna go closer so you can actually see the walls.
And this building now has been turned into a coffee shop where we are going to see if we can have a coffee or something to drink. Wow, very cute. And you have the window that leads to a beautiful view of the water. There is even a table if you want to sit here. Very nice. Okay, we ordered this dessert, which is coconut ice cream with a sweet made of coconut, which is called cocada. I tried that in our video from Salvador we bought on the street. It's really, really delicious. And if you haven't watched that video, make sure you do.
Very sweet.
Oh.
Very, very sweet. but it's good. If you like sweet, you're gonna like this
Yeah.
for sure.
Ice cream, 2 orange juices and a bottle of water was 54 reais. And now we are going to go a bit further down this beach for our next stop. We came to this place, which is called Champs Mall, or in French, Champs Mall. It's a bit further down the beach from where we were, and there are supposed to be some very nice restaurants by the water. Let's go check them out. So basically this building behind is all shopping mall. On top I think there are offices, gym, hair salons, but on the ground floor there are all restaurants, and then some of those restaurants down there, they also have tables on the beach. So that's why we wanted to come here. Usually during the time of the sunset it's very nice, but today it's a little bit cloudy, as you can see. We're not sure if we can see a beautiful sunset, but it's a very nice setting, so we want to just grab a bite very quickly and have a drink. So we chose a restaurant. We are sitting in a very nice place, well installed. I'm translating from French. Bien installé.
Bien installé.
Very nice place, and this is the view. Can't go wrong with this view. Beautiful. Oh, Mariana.
Yes.
Good?
Very nice.
Happy?
Beautiful. Yes.
All right. So for drinks we got watermelon gin tonic, right?
Yeah.
Which is the first for me. I'm gonna try it later. And we ordered a pizza also. O Poderoso Chefão. He's the godfather, right?
Yes. The Godfather.
Okay. Hopefully they can offer us something we cannot refuse. It's for 45 reais, the pizza, and the drinks are 23 reais each. And the view is just priceless. Alright, so the pizza came. This is calabresa, which is the Brazilian kind of pepperoni, and has different cheeses also. There's blue cheese, mozzarella, all different kinds. And I asked, as always, for a hot sauce. I think it's gonna be good. Okay, pizza was good, drinks were good.
Very good.
I'm gonna write the total also after when we pay, because it's getting dark. I don't want the image quality to get worse. So we're gonna end the video now. We hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more videos to come up. We have a lot more planned, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.